So they'll be calling you a radical. If I ever become president or want to be king, the first two things I would get rid of are going on right now. I would ban leaf blowers and car alarms. God, so it's election day. It's early in the morning. Taking my turn at the peace vigil. So it's election day 2018. So we had a rainstorm here yesterday morning. Talk about a wave. The wave was flowing down here, flooding up over the rails, whatever. A lot of activists have been fucking here. Now, I mean, that's one thing. Got to give that to fucking Trump. Activism is back. I mean, bad activism, good activism in the street. Fuck. They're out of the woodwork, you know, here. I mean, it's fucking nuts. So, you awake yet? You fucking awake yet? You violated yet? You violated yet by this company? The Trumpettes versus the Obamacans. Which fucking ignorant, dumb fucking puppets will the lobbyists elect this year? I mean, I like it. Still red, fucking blue. Please. Fucking, I bleed blood purple. Fucking, who will the military industrialized complex puppets and the lobbyists and the corporate whoredom fucking get next? Oh, maybe the Great Indian Killer. Fuck. The peasants and natives, Operation Foxconn. We got a new, I made a new poster for the Feast Vigil. So you guys, and I'm gonna do more stuff here. 3 Mile Island. Look what shirt I got on. I know. We are family. Yeah, we're all family now. We got 3 Mile Island in our bone marrow. We got Chernobyl. How about this one? The worst fears, our worst fears would be major meltdowns, right? God, if that ever happens, oh, it happened. Fukushima. What's that? What next? TikTok. Maybe Foggy Bottom here. No, excuse me. Peach Bottom. That nightmare. How about the one that took 44 years to build? Watts Bar. The NRC goes to prison. Ha! TikTok, Diablo Canyon Clock. Where are we going to put the waste? I still say, Kevin Wax, I still say, shoot it into fucking space. It's a bad idea. No shit. No shit. Thank you, Mr. Obvious. Tell me where babies come from. What about putting it in a hole at fucking Whip? Oh, it blew up on Valentine's Day? $2 billion to it. What's that? What about putting it in a mound, Bob Gibson, fucking on the hill, throwing heat at your head in Westlake, fucking Missouri? How about Mitt Romney and Mia Love team up with Trump to reclass and bring it to fucking them dumb fucking sheep in Utah? And I want to say this. This is another important thing, real important thing. Went off to Afghanistan to kill the Taliban. The Cold War never stopped. We didn't fucking have to nuke. We nuked ourselves. My neighbor is the Ogden mayor. That's my neighbor, Brent Taylor. I know the whole family. My dad and his dad, well, his grandpa and my dad, really close friends. Old Weber County, something rotten in the dude. That's him. And oh, they're hero. Fuck. They're not heroes, they're victims. You know, he's got a bunch of kids, a lot of kids. It's heartbreaking. Good guy. You know, I'm not a big fan of 7 kids in this day and age, but that's none of my, I guess it is my business. But he was a good guy. I liked him a lot. I used to coach those guys in Little League basketball. You know, I coached him when he was young. You know, I coached a lot of youth basketball. You know, and Junior, Jazz, Energy Solutions, Arena, fuckers. They stole everything from us in Utah. Why the fuck? I mean, who killed him? Not the Taliban. The United States government. Why are we still there? Went off to Afghanistan to kill the Taliban, to get Bin Laden. Went off to Iraq to get Dick Cheney in front of big old sacks. Went off to fucking Vietnam to kill the Viet Cong. How nice of them invented ISIS, the perpetual war machine, the fucking native killers. We're all natives, by the way. I want people to know we're all natives. We're all natives. See you, Dan.
Yep.
Thanks for your work, man. I appreciate you. You got everything? You need me to help you out with any of that?
I think I got it now.
All right. Thanks, brother.
Yep.
Love you. So, you got anything to say, Craig, on election day? Where you can pick a puppet, pick a new puppet?
Please do vote. Vote your conscience. Vote ecology.
Vote. There, I like that. Vote the ecology, because we got both parties hate that thing. They don't like the ecology, neither red nor blue, which, I mean, what the hell are we going to do?
Both sides are warmongers, and it's really hard to figure it out.
And same with the Green Party. I mean, we don't have a real Green Party. We don't have resistance, no circle, but we have some grassrooters, right? How long we been here?
Been here 37 years or 40 if you consider William Thomas just showing up here.
Well, what a war, huh? In a fucking pup tent, 24/7. And by the way, we've been here so long, I want people to know this. It wasn't that long ago. They just shows you how fucking old I'm getting. I remember when what's-his-name fucking got drunk and drove his car through the corner of the fucking White House fence, wasted, and ended up on the fucking lawn. Took the cops 30 minutes to even show up. And it was DC police. You know how long he went to jail? Not one day. You know, he got on probation.
Oh, you're talking about on the west side.
Yeah. And so, oh, right over here. You went right in right there. You went right there. Yeah, I say not long ago. It was probably 20, 30 years ago. But now...
Lady did it over here on the west side by the entrance.
Oh, that was not that long ago. But, I mean, they almost shot her. They got her immediately. That's happened a few times on purpose. But now... this security is so over the top. So about once an hour, they're Nazis now. They scream and they yell and they come over. Let me show you what they do. This is new. This is new, and oh, I know. Fucking. I'm going to have a funeral today, by the way. We got the casket. We got the casket yesterday and got it all made. So they put these up now. Now this is the new one. When the helicopter flies out so Trump can go play golf, like Obama played golf, they seal them off across and they throw everybody off. You ought to hear them. I got videos of it. Get back! Get back! And they got the SS is some new SS around here. They've recruited some new SS. And they're really SS. Oh boy, they're pricks. And most of the White House police, I know a lot of them from being here so long, they're really great dudes, you know. And DC police are fantastic, by the way. I really love those guys. But they call it the white shirts.
I'd like to also add that Kevin Blanch has the real truth of the matter as far as taking care of the ecology. It's vital and important that we do our level-headed best in order to manifest a healthy environment. And Fukushima was just the straw maybe that broke the camel's back, but I mean there are nuclear electrical power plants everywhere in the country and the world that need to come down so that we don't have a full.
And we need to come up with an answer. Quit just fighting over this nuclear waste. We need to come together right now and make a plan, which I call the post-ignorance project. Not only to shut them down, we need to come out of fucking denial and deal with this fucking nightmare waste that's all over, you know, and put it in a hole. And there's no re-education. There'll never be. That's the Savannah River Moxie Fuel fairy tale they've shoved down our throat. We got really 3 options. Leave it on site, which is a disaster. I mean, millions of tight bombs.
Shoot it into outer space.
Shoot it into outer space or put it into a hole in a cavern. And we have that solution, and that's happening right now. People will think Yucca Mountain. It's happening at WIPP in New Mexico, which I know for a fact the worst of the worst is already going in there. And under the Patriot Act, the Department of Energy has 100%. They don't have to tell any of the sheep anything. Like, not on the beach at San Onofre or whatever. They could move it right there, right now, today, without telling one person legally. Legally, well, not in my mind, it's not legally, but in their fucking stolen Supreme Court, Kavanaugh, there, it's been ruled. The Patriot Act stands, and under the Patriot Act, nuclear waste is national security, and because they make nuclear bombs out of it, you know, and it's not natural uranium. So, I mean, pick one. What's that old saying? Pick your fucking poison. Well, ain't that the truth? Pick your nuclear poison.
Well, you know, God's on our side and nature's on our side, and money is the ones that's against us, and how we thwart money is probably through the masses.
What's the opposite of God and nature?
Man's greed, Satan.
Satan. So really,
we have to kick him out.
Whatever the evil be, where, you know, the secular Muslims were here. They're fantastic. From Iran, they spent so much time with us. I spent a lot of time with the Iranian activists, the Pakistanians coming in. I mean, that one thing, Muslim, Christian, all this thing that we're supposed to be divided left, right, up, down, black, fucking white, old, young. There's one.
Stand divided, we fall.
Yeah, but there's one thing that you can talk to anybody, whatever. We're 90% united around the world on one thing: anti-nuclear. Nobody wants the motherfuckers. Not energy, not fucking bonds, because of the same thing.
Money wants it, though.
That's it.
Same with war.
Same thing. I mean, it's the same old thing with their tanks and their guns and their bombs and their fucking. It's the same old theme, 1916,
so
right?
The Democrats and the Republicans are going to argue about all the other issues, but they're going to go secretly into their room.
Money, money, money. But, I mean, it's greed. It's sickening. And politicians aren't going to change it, by the way. We have to change it at the grassroots. This stuff changes it. We educate a lot of people, and I want people to know, because people don't know about the peace vigil. Let me show you. You know, Craig and I come up with this. We're going to make some better ones. We're going to start using this more.
I used to use hashtag no second Fukushima, no third Chernobyl.
I like
and
that.
I ended up spelling Chernobyl wrong. I learned well.
The toughest word in the world for us English guys is to spell Chernobyl. It ends with an L. Yes, it ends with an L. So I want to show people this. That's who started this. And by the way, his name, everybody calls him William Thomas. Thomas was his middle name.
Doubting Thomas.
Do you know his last name?
I don't remember.
It's a German word with an H, but he was fantastic. But he started this in 1978. And
Wanted
so
wisdom and honesty.
He was fantastic. And he just picked, and then it's been permanent since 81. But he started picketing here, right here, and it was on the other side.
I knew him as Thomas in 2002.
So, it was on that side. They moved us over here in 87. Now, I knew him from San Diego. I knew him from SoCal and the activist things days, and, you know, and the anti-nuclear movement was in vogue. Not so in vogue anymore, right? Neither we. Oh, God, what a lonely war. But, when people are educated and we teach, and I mean, that's why I got to start spending more time here. That's what Filippo says. He says, come on, Kevin, you're the walking, talking encyclopedia on nuclearism. And, you know, Filippo says, because Filippo's in a wheelchair. And he took it over and he says, he tells everybody, he says, well, I'm the permanent fixture here. I do the thing. And he says, I'm not very mobile. I'm in a wheelchair. He says, and Kevin Blanch is the road show. Take it on the road, bro. So, on tour. So I'll be on tour. I'm on permanent tour, it seems like, since Fukushima happened, right? With my chest split open, full of cancer. Talk about a fucking tour. And we're not like the tours in 79, the no nukers that rode our back and got rich, like Bruce Springsteen down by the refinery. All these guys that rode our anti-nuclear back and got rich off us. We got poor off us fighting this. But like you said this morning, count your blessings, right, Craig?
Well, we've got the GoFundMe's for all the champions. Kevin Blanch's GoFundMe is right here. Ours is here. Ellen is there. Fred Davis of Eagle Entertainment Groups is down there somewhere.
Oh, nice. And we'll do better work. While I'm here, I'm going to try to...
You really need the funding in order to be able to make all the flights. Because
oh, boy. Yeah, so back to the Central Coast, working the dead tide pools. You know, like I said, my PhD is real. My work's real because you can't have an opinion about all this, like the dead tide pools, the dead salmon, unless you walk through the valley of the shadow of death. You know, and I walk through the valley, literally, and I fear no evil. And they are evil.
What are the salmon run numbers today?
So, well, the run's over. Oh, that's what I'm glad you brought that up. So, this is breaking news. I got from Tim, my boots on the ground. There's an emergency meeting being called by ODFW on election day today. ODFW, WFW have an emergency behind, because I have whistleblowers inside there that tell me there's an emergency meeting called today. How are they going to battle the lawsuits? So everybody says, what, the lawsuits? Greenpeace woke up, Sierra Club woke up? Fuck no, them dumb fuckers are too busy counting their money. I woke them up, and the lawsuits, you know what the lawsuits are? The natives. They're suing them over the allotment. So I call it the judgment of salmon. You know that biblical story. So the judgment of salmon, they're fighting over in Oregon and Washington, how's it going, over salmon that doesn't exist. So why says, why don't you fight over Santa Claus? They're fucking the tooth fairy, you know? So that's still, that's all it is. It's just, Mother Earth is nothing but a commodity to these people. The animals are a commodity. The water's a commodity. It's something just to monetize. And the salmon are the last stand. So there's 334,000 returning Chinook salmon for the year. The season's over. Now, this in the fall run in Tim McVeigh, they don't count them, but my boots on the ground said they came back at 0. Now, if that's the case, which I think it is, 50, but 0. It's all emergency closed. Remember when I called and I videoed it and I demanded it closed? They closed it that night at midnight. He did an interview and he says it's because of the phone calls he got from me and Tim. I mean, you don't think my activism is effective? Fuck. You don't know shit about me. Or the peace vigil here with Craig. So we have Craig Thomas. We have Filippo. And then, you know who
Neil Cousins.
Neil Cousins is fantastic. He's our old timer.
Dan's here until the end of November.
But the permanent, it's basically 3 people. I mean, Filippo, how many hours a day does he put in?
It's a lot. Weekends all day long.
And then Neil, so we're taking over Neil's shift this morning because we told him, we've been 6 o'clock in the a.m. Look, I'm pretty wore out. But Neil's protesting at the polls he does every year. And, you know, Neil's pushing 70. He'll be over here, and I mean, he's the shit, man. I love that guy. He reminds me of Thomas a lot. He really does remind me of Thomas a lot.
I wish you could break him out of his being shy, because he's a good man.
But I do. He, you know, he's quiet and shy, but he opens up to me, and he's a walking, talking encyclopedia. He knows his shit about anti-nuclear. Energy and nuclear bombs are the same thing. So election 2016 here. Snipers with their red beats right on my head, our head, all day, every day. They've sued us how many times trying to get us out of here?
I'm not sure.
Well, hundreds. You know, Bill Clinton took pictures here. Even W walked over. Even when Concepcion died, Molina came over.
Our lawyer that beat in the Supreme Court, we was in contact with him on a regular basis, and I don't think we've got any problems.
Well, what happened, it was a different world in the early 80s, and they tried to get rid of us, and we won the suits. You know, Ellen, and she's still around.
Concepcion and Thomas got beat up for the first 2 years and thrown in jail on several occasions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Secret Service are really good to us now. I mean, practically even
Yeah, but it took a hell of a lot of fight in the courts over and over and over and over. I mean, the work that Concepcion and he did. You know, let's talk. I want to talk a little bit about Concepcion too. Is she wasn't married to Thomas. You know, Thomas, he took her in. He took her in. She was a Manhattan muck, and you know that whole thing. I think she was great. Born in Spain, she lived in Manhattan to an oligarch, and what he did to her was horrific. It was a nightmare. He took her kids from her. You know, told everybody she was mentally ill. Sued her through the court. She had no means. Thomas took her in at the Peace House. And the Peace House is hijacked. It's a fucking joke. The Dorothy Day house next to it is not much better. Dorothy Day be rolling over. And by the way, you know, Dorothy Day would, Thomas really talked about her a lot. She was fierce. She was fierce. She would hug us and love us. I mean, we follow her teachings a lot. We follow Dorothy Day's teachings a lot. Like you said this morning, count your blessings.
Is Legion's network with Food Not Bombs at all?
I don't know. But Dorothy Day's line when they dropped the bomb at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, when they dropped the bomb, she was so beautiful. And in Russia, she cut her teeth in Russia, Dorothy Day. You know, Megan Rice broke into Y-12. They threw her in prison. That was Obama's doings. Killed Aaron Swartz, but Dorothy Day. True man, true man, true man. Oh, she went crazy. There's videos of it. True man. Yeah, you're a real true man. You vaporized the innocent people. Hoover said, first time in the history of mankind in war. First time ever.
We're talking Concepcion?
No, I'm talking about Dorothy Day.
Sorry.
Dorothy Day. So, Truman, Hoover, President Hoover. The ex-president, the one everybody hated, the capitalist, whatever. This is militarism, by the way. It's not capitalism. He says, this is the most disgraceful act any human beings have done in the history of mankind. Indiscriminately killing masses of humans. Hirohito lived in Manhattan for free, for years, untouched. Yoko Ono's freaking cousin. Dorothy Day. True man, true man, true man. You're a real true man. I hope the Jetstream was new. We just discovered it. Of course it wasn't new, but I hope it comes over here and the dust of the vaporized children suck up into your nose and into your lungs and into your brain when you're sent to hell. You know, and everybody who was anybody, we should have never dropped any of those. So I was at the Hiroshima Memorial this year, at the Enola Gay, which I do every year, 2 years ago. Suzuki's own niece came. You don't think that's a major story? Me, oh my, Nobel Prize. You know, I can. I will. So she comes over and awards me, Kevin Blanch. They know me over there. Started to cry. I got to hold one of the original paper cranes. You know, she died of AML leukemia at 11 years old. I got AML leukemia, you know. Give it 2 months to live. She handed me I got to hold one of her original folded paper cranes in my hand. First, I was the second guy in Utah. Jim got to hold it first. Jim started to cry. Jim grew up near 3 Mile Island. The Enola Gay hangar, Japanese come over in goodwill, open up their arms and hands and say, let's forgive and forget. These guys didn't show up. The state of Utah didn't show up. Nobody showed up from government. No media showed up. Then they made me, they awarded me a fan that says peace on it. They awarded 5 of them. I got one. She started to cry. Awarded me. Made from the other old memorial. The one that's like this, similar to this. It's a Hiroshima Nagasaki. But this is the longest standing permanent vigil of any sort. There's a controversy where maybe in the world, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, there's some other ones around the world. But this one, in this part of the world, unarguable. And we have to have somebody awake 24/7. We sit in here. Wind, hurricanes, cold. I mean, it could be a cold motherfucker here in this part of the world, right?
It gets cold in the winter.
Oh boy, and so we fight on. We fight on. True man, true man, true man.
I really like the fact that the Rainbow Children's, the story of how they're going to come back and save the world from the ecology devastation.
Well, that's a native story. They got that from the natives. That's a very native thing.
We need to have forgiveness but not forgetting.
Well, I'm one of these people. I'm all for these stories, native, the hereafter, God coming back, Jesus coming back, Jesus coming back. I hope he wears a fucking mask because the place is toxic, and I wish he'd hurry the fuck up. And so, I believe in all spirituality. I'm a very spiritual person if you haven't seen yet. But the fact of the matter, God helps those who help themselves. Tim shall thou mayest. That's old. I'm an Old Testament guy. And so, the fact is, if we're going to rely, and I don't know what the hereafter is, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to deal with the reality. I'm dealing with the hand that was dealt to me. I didn't freaking drop that bomb. Before I was conceived, and my father was nuked to death in the Nevada test site, and I was mutated from birth, born with a bad aortic valve all fucked up. I've dealt with the fucking consequences of that nuclear bomb since the day I was conceived on the beach of San Onofre, and I've been fucked up. Open heart surgery, autistic, you name it. Fucking AML leukemia in a bone marrow transplant, going in and out of a fucking coma. Anybody knows the consequence. I know, so I'm dealing with the hand that I'm dealt. And the waste is all over this place. And I'm going to deal with it, and I'm going to fix it. You know? I'm going to try to fix it at least. I'm the activist with solutions. I'm not going to sit and wait for the next generation or, God to come down. God can work through me, whatever the gods are. I will be his messenger. I will be his, I love that scripture. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. For he anoint me with dead well oil on the beaches of the Gorda. He lay me down in dried out, fucking burned out pastures in California. But he can guide me, and they guide me, and I follow the light. I follow the light. The great Indian killer, fuck him. I follow the light, which is God, what God it is, whatever the gods, and which I believe is the Pacific Ocean. I always say, I fight for her, she fights for me, and I believe God works through the Pacific Ocean, works through the ecology, and has me connected. And I just followed that light. And that light tells me, Kevin, you live to fight this industry and to deal with this thing, kill this thing. For Kevin reached into the bag and he slung the stone.
I've got a list of the people from all the countries in ICANN. I guess you're probably dealing with them.
Oh yeah, big time.
Meetings at all?
Oh, I know them all personally. I'm freaking on lots of those committees, whatever. See, the thing with ICANN that I have to fight with ICANN, they do great work on the bomb, and the UN's historically said fuck nuclear waste. But the problem is, They have not bled into that nuclear reactors and nuclear bombs are the exact same thing. Same with plowshares, all of them. I'm educating them. You know, the head of plowshares, she'll tell you straight up. Kevin? So I got to cut this off before I run out of time, but...
And it's raining on you. Use your umbrella.
It's raining again. Here comes the rain again. Fuck. So, election day. Yeah, so I'm not passing this on to my I'm not going to have my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren next year. Why the fuck did you guys just indebt this country? And I don't buy anything new. I'm anti-consumption. I live my rhetoric. I don't buy anything fucking new. You know, I believe in fellow man. I believe in the animals. I believe in the ecology. I believe we're all one. I believe we're all one spirit. I fight for her, the great mighty blue Pacific Ocean, the ecology. She fights for me. And they're our enemy. Red, blue, fucking, you know, and it's culture. I don't blame Trump. I don't blame Obama. I don't blame any of them anymore. I blame us. It's culture. You know, I'll do the fucking work. I'll do the work. Stay tuned.